Step off the train all alone at dawn, back into the home where I was born. Sun in the sky never raised the night to me. The blood on the tracks suddenly must be mine.
Look at Mbappe, three wide going into school.
And Mbappe got it. Oh, what a move! What a move!
All my people right here, right now. Do you know what I mean? All my people right here, right now. Do you know what I mean? All my people right here, right now. Do you know what I mean?
Puts himself in the history books. He is, without a doubt, the man of F1XL. But now he's a three-time F1XL champion. It's brilliant.
I don't need care for what you believe, so open of your fist, no, you won't receive the thoughts and the words of every man you need. Step off the train all alone at dawn, back into the home.
Good evening, everybody, to the F1L Extra F1XL? Yeah, it is F1XL. What am I on about? What a great start to the show. The F1XL Extra show just didn't sound right. It didn't roll off the tongue like it would usually do. So, yes, we're a day late than usual, and I completely blame myself for this one. However, I am... Yes, yeah, just blame me. Unfortunately, it was down to getting a COVID test, and it is one of those that just has to be done, unfortunately. However, now, we are obviously here for the rundown of the Mexican Grand Prix and all the leagues. You've obviously got the F1 League that you are being shown right now, but we are going to go through from F4 all the way to F1. But this week, we're doing it on a Thursday, so it just seems a little odd. Now, Mr. Tazo is here, but he's not here at this current moment in time. He is just away doing dad duties, I believe. And soon enough, he will be joining us and giving his insight into a few things, asking a few of the most important questions coming to F1XL. Now, the standings page on the bottom left-hand side that you usually see, unfortunately, we are having issues with our spreadsheet as well, so it's a great week for us on Extra, but we are getting that fixed. I mean, Pingers is working day and night to get that one sorted. But before we get any further of my babbling and all of that jazz, I am going to hopefully invite our first guest to the show. We will obviously be starting in F4. I'm hoping he got that invite, or otherwise things have all of a sudden gone badly. But he is here like magic, and well, he's someone that I've spoken to a lot of recent in WhatsApp chats because of Racing Point. Chips and Davey, welcome to the F1XL Extra show.
How's it going, man?
I am doing well. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. Not bad.
Now, I believe this is the second time you've come on the show. I don't think it's your third, is it?
No, I think it's the second time. I think the last time was like right at the beginning of the season. So
Yeah, a bit of a...
came a long way since then.
I've just saw Roland saying F1XL having technical issues. Nah, yeah, that's about right. It's about right.
That's just standard. That's fine. Absolutely fine.
So, I mean, before we head into Mexico and how it went for you, obviously you're kind of building yourself up, and take away Australia, you were doing really well. 2 victories in a row, 2 fifth places, and then two victories in a row. What was and followed by a DNF in Australia. What was your mindset coming into Mexico?
Just to prove a point, to be absolutely honest. I knew after Australia, I was kind of struggling for that kind of consistency. I wanted to, obviously I won in Monza and then Australia, and then coming into, sorry, I didn't win in Australia. Coming into Monza and then Brazil, coming into Australia I wanted to keep that, but it was just a track that it seemed okay when I was doing like the practicing and stuff, but just when it came to the race I just couldn't find anything, I just couldn't find any pace about it. But coming into this race, I mean, I just wanted to really kind of prove a point to say, like, I'm not as inconsistent as I seem, to be honest.
Yeah, it's... I mean, there's been more inconsistent drivers through the season, but yeah, I can see what you mean by that. Obviously, a little bit of a dip, but averagely, you've done really well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think Mexico suited me as a track as a whole more than Australia did. I think I just preferred Mexico more. I think it just maybe it's not as technical as Australia, I guess.
Fair enough. Let's go for the race then. Well, qualifying in the race for Mexico. Now, I've just had a quick look at the chat, and apparently you weren't even in F4 in Mexico. You were in F3 because you were so quick, I'm guessing is what they were saying. But that was Greeners, by the way. But
Oh, was that? Oh, yeah, typically.
always Greeners. Blame that bloody Renault. No, quickly go through qualifying and then we'll do a little bit more in depth in the race.
Well, I feel with qualifying, I think this is one of these tracks that if you run even slightly out trying to use the full potential of the track, it does just invalidate your time. So it was a really difficult. It was really difficult to get the time down. But with the qualifying, the time that I'd set was only 4/10 off of my time trial time, so I was quite happy. And I think with Greeners as well, Greeners has really hit some sort of magic button in the last couple of races. He's been he's been driving really well, and he was only like, I think it was a space of like a hundredth of a second between me and him for the for pole position.
Yeah, Greeners is one of those. He'll either turn up or he might as well not turn up, I think is the best way to describe it. No, that's a bit harsh. But no, Greeners does some... he's very... he's more stable over the last few races, but the beginning of
he's been brilliant.
The beginning of the season, he was very yo-yo-y. But let's go through the race. Obviously, everyone's... Well, I say everyone. Greeners are saying that no one saw you, but did you have much action in there?
Yes and no. Like Mexico is one of those tracks that you don't really want to qualify first on because of the rundown into the first corner. But I felt like I got off the line really well. Obviously, myself and Greeners just kind of charging for it down into turn one. There was a little bit of contact here and there, but it didn't really affect the race as such. And it was just a case of me and Greeners just doing the first stint. Frosty, I think, sitting for he had a brilliant race, considering like he's been really unfortunate the last couple of weeks. He kind of held up the McLarens for us in the first stint, which allowed me and Greeners to kind of just like push on, get the first stint out the way, and then push on to the second stint. And I think Greeners was a wee bit unlucky with, I think he had a spin somewhere. I'm not sure where he had it, but it was a great race for myself, and it was just a wee bit fortunate that I actually won it, because I think a lot of guys were just kind of catching me, but it just so happened as they were catching me, it was more the traffic that was the issue with the difference in the stints rather than, you know what I mean, it's just in the...
You got a bit lucky with people, coming out of the pits and you hit fresh air while other people didn't, yeah?
Yeah, basically, come the second stint, I think that was more of an issue, because the first stint I knew that I was out in traffic, but I think these other guys that were pitting about the same time as me had the same issue.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's obviously the luck falls on your side. It's kind of like a pendulum, really, throughout the season. It will swing one side to the other. Now, obviously, you're now 8 points clear at the top of the standings, with Davey only managing to finish 8th. 5 races to go. What's your plans?
Just keep doing what I'm doing, I guess. I mean, this season, I guess, is far from over. The league has changed so much in the last 5 races. I mean, I'm not going to take anything for granted at the moment. I mean, it's 8 points is nothing in this league at the moment. So we'll just need to wait and see what happens. But I'm just going to keep doing my thing, man. That's all.
That's probably the best way for it. So we're going north of Trump's fake wall. to America next week or this
Oh
Sunday.
no!
So hopefully we'll all be able to cross the get over the climb the wall and what have you. But
Take a run and jump, I think.
but what's your plans coming into America? And do you think you've got enough about you to possibly take another victory here?
Well, America, this track is, for me, it's the one in the career mode I always tend to skip. So, I mean, take of that what you will. But, I mean, I've done a couple of practice runs, a couple of time trials the other day, and I seemed pretty quick around it, but it's just a track that I'm not a huge fan of. But, I mean, if the time trials are anything to go by, I'm actually not too bad around here, so again, like, I'll just do my thing and see how it pans out.
Now, you say it's just not a track you're like. Is it any specific reason, or is it just you don't suit it?
To be honest, I'm not actually quite sure. Like, anytime like I seen it, I'm just like, ugh, America. Like, it's not that I dislike it. It's just that I'm not a fan of it. So, I mean, I'm a bit of in the middle with it. It's just more of a meh track than anything else.
Fair enough. And who do you think is going to take victory then at America?
That's a tough one. I know Greeners has had this, like I said earlier, this magic switch that he's kind of seemed to have switched on in the last few races. So it's going to be a toss up. I'd say if I was to pick someone, it would probably be Greeners or Nick, because I know Nick's been really he's been really quick as well recently. So I'd probably go for either of those two.
Fair enough. Well, I'm glad you said toss up, because for some reason I thought you were going to say tosser, and I was like, that's not a very nice thing to say about Mr. Tazo. But
if I had to pick a tosser, it probably would have been Taz. It would be fair. So
I'm glad we're on the same page for that one.
Turns out there's a free seat in Racing Point this weekend, because we just had a driver banned from the league.
Good way to get
I'm sure
Tazo
Swordog
back
will be
into the
disappointed.
chat, though, isn't it?
we got his attention.
Yes.
I've been listening.
Taz, have you? Before we move on to 5 Faces of Hell, have you got any questions for these?
No, I want him off as quick as possible.
Okay.
Why?
A dick. Because you're a dick. Not complex, is it?
I'm sure you'll like me once you get to know me.
It's all right.
No?
I think the first time Big Will spoke to us or heard about Mr. Tazo properly, what was it? What's on your Twitter bio, Taz?
Oh, yeah.
Relatively nice guy. That was about 3 years ago today, isn't it?
Yes, it's the one there. 7th of the 11th, 2018, a relatively nice guy.
What magic tricks were you pulling then?
I can't remember. I must have said something nice to him.
Oh, God.
Right. No, I don't really have any questions, because F4, the less it's said about it, the better.
Well, I think you've been unlucky, Taz. I'm not going to lie. I think you've been really unfortunate. So, but I do hope to see you up there on Sunday.
I promise you, the only way that's happening is if things go wrong for others. Because I'm genuinely not expecting to be near the top again until, I think, Silverstone, second last race of the season.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, so.
Well,
it's fine
no,
though.
my fingers are crossed anyway. My fingers are crossed.
Yeah. Right, okay, so suppose we better get on to the crux of the matter here.
Oh, yes.
I
I'm
know
ready.
what you're going to say to me, but in order.
Uh-huh.
What are the
Right.
5 faces you're choosing?
I've spoken about this. I've spoken about this before, right? And I told you my 5, right? And you're like, are you sure? And I'm like, no. Sound like shit. So, I'm gonna go with what I've got here, based on people's incorrect answers.
Okay.
So, we'll see how this
just
goes.
before you do give it them, we'll just say this. Yeah, so he sent me the picture, and all I kept doing is, "Are you sure? Are you definitely positive?" And it's actually got to the point where he's confused himself on if he's certain or not anymore. So I'm intrigued to
Yeah.
see if he sticks with his answer or not.
Yeah, cheers for that, Tazo. Appreciate that. So, from the top, we've got Heikki Kovalainen.
Uh-huh.
Then we've got Giancarlo Fisichella,
Uh-huh.
Lando Norris for the Norris,
Uh-huh.
Joe Palmer with his sexy smile, and
Okay.
for the chin, I'm gonna go with Alexander Wurz.
Now, there's a name that we have not heard at all.
Yeah, I was between two. It was between Alesi and Wurz, and I think it's Wurz. I'm gonna go with Wurz.
Gareth, what do you think?
Now that is a crazy one that I hadn't thought of, but the chin is. Now I'm looking at it. If you add a bit of stubble to it, it's very Vert-like, so he could be onto something here.
Okay.
It was the overall more than anything that gave it away, to be honest.
So we've got Kovalainen, Fisichella, Norris, Palmer, and Wurz. Yep.
Yep.
Out of 5.
Yes, I'm gonna go with Watts. Yeah, let's go. Let's do
Okay.
it. Let's do it.
So David, out of 5. Five correct answers.
Yes! Come on! Let's go!
Oh,
Let's go!
Pingers has finally got his
got it.
dream. It's his Christmas present.
Yeah!
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I've enjoyed the last couple of days of just listening to you stew and sort of
The last couple of days, try the last couple of weeks, man. Oh, God. Yes.
Pingers has turned to religion for this as well.
So yep, just to recap on that, so it was Kovalainen, it's the head, Fisichella is the eyes, Norris is the nose, Palmer is the smile, and Alexander Wurz with that pretty rock chin, to be fair. I'm surprised.
love
You know,
that
I'm
chin.
surprised no one really thought about him because he has got a pretty. You know what I mean? Like in terms of chins, he's got a pretty sturdy chin, doesn't he? You know what I mean?
I'm very jealous of that chin.
Yeah, it's a proper like.
It's a beauty.
I can see why so many people said Coulthard and Weber. It's one of those, but well
Well,
done.
it's not square enough for Coulthard, so.
Greeners has just said in the chat, "Hold on." Is he trying to work out what's going on here?
Oh shit.
No, Greeners, no. We do one a
No.
season unless it's guessed within the first week. Then we will do one a season.
Yeah.
I was actually half expecting like Tazo to draw up like a new one like right away.
I'm not gonna lie. It's one of these things. I think if I did do that, it would probably lose its novelty. But I think the fact that it's once a season does sort of keep it entertaining. You know what I mean?
And Pingers can have a couple of weeks like
Yeah.
being less angry. We've got to look after
Yeah,
Pingers.
A bit of meditation. Pingles, a bit of meditation, mate.
I bet you he's just going to turn around and go, I would have had it next week.
That
Well-
chin was fair enough, man. That was a great chin to try and guess.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
We
you
will
very
be. I'll be in touch with you shortly regarding your reward, and
Perfect.
Fingers will be in touch with you shortly regarding the reward from him. So, but yeah.
One
well
sexual,
done,
guess
and,
one which is which.
What?
One is a sexual reward. Guess one which is which.
Both.
Absolutely not. Pingers will be in charge of that one.
Uh,
That's it. That's the way Pingers goes, isn't it?
No,
Nice, I like
he's got to wait till Sloppy's out of the basement first.
Anyway, Davey, thank you very much for coming on.
My
Thank you for
pleasure, man.
ending not just Fingers' torment, but I think everybody's torment for another season.
In my own
And,
personal comment, yes.
Yes. Me and Gareth have got another thing that we have been planning, which I'm sure we will let you all know later on in the show, though. So,
Oh, smashing. Nice.
but any words to disappear with?
Yeah, just a shout out to Chaos. I hope you get well soon, mate. We're all rooting for you, and hope to see you back soon.
Yep, they're here.
Wow. Thank
Nice
you
one, boys.
very much, Davey. Much
Thanks.
appreciated.
Thanks
And take care. Have a good rest of your evening. Make sure you watch us.
You too, guys. Yep, well done, guys. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Right, cheers. Bye.
Fantastic. Now, that is Davey and F4 done and dusted, and fair play to him. He got there about chaos before we could even get there. Fair play. But even better, I say even better, it's not better at all. But that 5 Faces of Hell has finally gone for the season. Now, that was longer than last season, wasn't it, Taz?
Yeah, I reckon we started that probably.
August.
I reckon Belgium, maybe before then, Belgium or France, because I wasn't here for the Abu Dhabi week. I don't think. I wasn't there for the race. I know that. So you're talking quite a while.
Hmm.
I reckon. Yeah, a good number of weeks.
Now, let's move on, and I'll try and remember which plan you have. we're going to advertise a bit later on today. Roland missed it. Should we just go through that one more time?
Yeah,
Just to
bring it back up.
Roland's
back up on the
benefit.
stream. Yeah. Right, so Roland, the faces here once again. Kovalainen, Fisichella, Norris, Hammer, and Alexander Wirtz.
There we go.
Sneaky one.
There we go. He's going to turn around and go, "Who's Alexander?" But no, he shouldn't. I don't think.
No,
He'll know.
he's a veteran F1 person. He'll know exactly who he is.
5 Faces completed it, mate. Oh, that's brilliant. And speaking about Norris, seeing as he was smack in the middle of that, we've got TES Norris for the F3 side of things. Norris, welcome to the show.
Hello. Just give me a second, let me get back to the pits.
So, doing some in-season
What's up,
testing. I don't think that's allowed.
No, I got chucked an invite to join a league at the very last second.
Roland in the chat just went fucking Wirtz. Oh, I knew you wouldn't be happy. Gareth, I'm going to let you start on this because I quickly need to grab something anyway.
Fair enough. Well, Norris, I hope you've managed to get yourself into the pits now.
I'm nearly there, but I can carry on talking.
Okay, fair enough. Now, obviously, McLaren team. Let's start off with the McLaren team ownership. How is obviously the camp at the moment? You're doing pretty well, and with everything that's going on.
The camp's quite well, actually. I think it's starting to set in that it's coming down to the final lot of races. I did say to the lads that this week I'm going to possibly look at starting to put a little bit of pressure on them to keep battling and keep going the way they are. But I don't want to put too much on so that they fuck themselves up over the weekends. There's going to be enough pressure for him there, but not too much, if you catch my drift.
Fair enough. And considering we've just had the F4 guy, or Davey, in, I know he's Racing Point, but you did have F1XL Dave, and obviously Nick as your drivers there. Dave's kind of not gone off the boil of recent weeks, but he's not as prolific with the points. However, Nick's kind of stepped up again and kind of filling in those points that Dave's lost. Is that how you'd prefer it to be, or would you prefer one driver going head over heels over the other?
To be fair, I'm happy that both of them are scoring points and finishing. Yes, as you say, Dave has dropped off, but I think that's the recent week of form, and I'm not too sure if he doesn't like the tracks that we've had. So we might see him come back strong this weekend, hopefully. But as I say, I'm happy with both of the drivers scoring points as they are. It's keeping us ahead in the constructors. So I can't ask for much more from both drivers, to be fair.
Fair enough. Now let's get to F3. F3's where you are and where it's at for you. I don't have any of the information of F3 because of our slight technical issues.
No, that's fine.
So let's talk it through qualifying and to start with, and we'll go on to the race afterwards.
Qualifying was interesting because it showed that there was going to be rain for 3 segments. So it was a case of when is that rain going to be coming into the race. So all of us just put in the soft laps just to get position really ready for when the rain hit. Top spot was occupied by Ash Rainbow for a little bit, but then it kept changing. I can't remember who qualified on pole in the end. I think it was Mook. Not too sure. As I say, I can't remember who qualified on pole, but it was basically whichever position you're in, you've now got to fight it for until the rain comes. And the race, it was hectic. There was a few incidents. But unfortunately, you've got to deal with it, to be fair. I had an incident on turn 1, and that backed up a few people. And it just went from there, really. And then after that, I kind of fucked my own strategy up, going on the intermediates 2 laps early, which, yes, was a big mistake. But in the end, the safety car saved me, and I managed to claw it back to getting some decent points, fighting with Bonter most of the race on track. Well, it wasn't really on track, it was just mainly me and him abusing each other in the chat. There seem to be a few of them that are trying to put me off in the week, on the race weekend, just trying to get me to shout out while driving and try and take my concentration off, but all I can say to them is keep trying, boys.
Fair enough. They're gonna keep trying. I'm certain of it. Definitely.
Oh, they will. Well, at the moment, as you say, as we say, there's four of us fighting for them last 2 ASR positions. Myself, Bonter, My Life, and I think Conte's thrown himself back into contention again. And it seems to be Bonter and My Life in the chat on WhatsApp trying to get me to react. Ben, yeah, he's always going to have a dig. We have done since last season. But that's me and Ben all over. And then Bonter, he's trying his best, and it's not working. I will have an ASR spot this year, so.
Fair enough. Let's go on to the race then, and how it panned out. Obviously, I don't know the finishing positions because of our technical issues, but hit it.
Safe start of it was interesting. I think coming up to turn 1, there was in the first bit there was 3 cars all lining up to go into turn 1. In the second row of it, I think there was 4 cars. So it was a case of get your position, fight for it, and stick it on the corner or as much room as you can, but leave it open for the other drivers as well. But unfortunately, there was a little bit of a cluster, and I think it ruined 2 or else 3 drivers, which one of them being myself. Then Ash and Trolled, I believe, just seemed to fly off, and Alpaca was up there as well. So them 2 decided they were gonna try and open up a gap, and unfortunate for Alpaca, he couldn't keep the car. He trying his best. I think he picked up some damage, and he had to pit. I picked up damage as well, and braved it out till I thought was best with the rain coming, but unfortunately it didn't work. There was gaps forming quite early on, so it was a case of you've got to keep the gaps close as possible, but it didn't seem to work with that long straight. And then the rain hit, really, so it did throw in a bit of a spanner in the works for the rain coming, because it was a case Jeff kept popping up and saying rain within 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and it just didn't turn up, but then it hit, which then, to say, threw a spanner. So it was a case of how long are we going to be on the inters for? Is it going to turn to full wet? But we managed to stay out on full wet, on inters, should I say. And that stayed up until around lap 28, I believe. Which we'd lost a few, I think we'd lost about 2 drivers. And with them not being able to keep it on track with the weather and being slippery. But then also another spanner came into the works of a safety car, which, as I say, helped me out massively, because I managed to, as track was starting to clear up, and I was closing the gaps myself on Storm and Kimmy, but I think there was a bit of a timing glitch with Kimmy, because he'd lagged out of the lobby twice. So it was saying on the at the top that it was about 20 seconds and he was going down, but then I was getting informed that he was less than 10 seconds in front of me. So it was a case of keep my head down and keep going. And in the end, I managed to claw it back to 5th place because of penalties that had happened, which it's not too shabby, to be fair.
That's not a bad way, really. 5th place, I mean, it keeps you in the hunt with the SR, which is what you wanted. I know you said a couple of weeks ago that was your aim as well, and you're doing everything in your power to do it. But America next. Like I said to Davey, you've got to jump over the fake Trump wall from Mexico to America. But yeah, what's your thoughts for America? That America, is it something you think you can? In a weird way, it's very similar to the Mexican track.
I would like to be there, but it's one of my mate's birthdays at the weekend, and I'm off to go get absolutely shit-faced.
Right then, you won't be racing, and okay, fine.
Nope. So that's going to give an opportunity to My Life and Conte to close the gap. Bonta will obviously overtake me because I'm only 2 points in front of him. So, Bonta, I'm back next week.
Okay then, who do you reckon is going to win the American Grand Prix.
For me, I think I'm gonna have to say Beastie, because he's been strong in the last couple of races. He hasn't had the results, so I think it's time for a bounce back for him. The Beastie to take that win. But anybody can challenge him for it. I know I've watched Ash Rainbow during the week. He was there in one of his other leagues, and can be particularly strong there, but I think Ben's gonna take it this weekend.
Fair enough. I'm hoping Mr. Tazzo's back now to ask any other questions or to say who he thinks is going to win. And there is nothing. So he's not back yet. So thank you, Norris, for popping onto the show. I guess that's probably about it from the F3 side of things. Yeah, you're still F3. The F3 side of things. Have you got any final words for the guys out there in the chat or people who will watch later on?
It's towards the end of the season, boys. Keep coming, keep going, keep battling, and time to bring it home. Really. So what I say is just keep going. We're towards the end of the season. It's been a cracking season, and I can't thank you all enough for all being there and being invested in the league.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Norris. Have fun on Sunday getting sloshed.
I will, don't you worry about that one.
Believe it or not, I haven't had anything to drink in about 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks.
You feeling all right?
Clearly not. Yeah, I know, it's a bit of a shock. I know people. I don't want to brag about it just yet. I want to see how far I can go. I just haven't felt the need, which is really weird considering everyone knows my antics. But yeah, good luck, and I hope, obviously, for your sake, that McLaren team does well over the weekend.
I'm sure they'll do me proud over this weekend.
Fantastic. Well, on that note, we'll see you. We'll see you next, Arnie. Arnie said nobody actually believes it.
Catch you later, guys.
Yes, we will see you soon, and take care, buddy.
You too, mate.
Right then, we're going to move on to what?
I'm back.
Oh,
yeah. We need predictions from you first.
Well, I was
Oh,
waiting.
yeah,
I was waiting for you.
Yeah. I just got back as he was leaving. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna
prediction.
interrupt.
I'm going to guess then. Hazard a guess and maybe trolled. It's a penalty track. Actually, no, not trolled.
Sunday was a penalty track and he won. Sunday was more of a penalty track, to be fair.
I don't know. It's only that middle sector,
No,
really.
maybe not.
Mexico, America. You can. There's that second to last corner that'll do it. Let's see. I'm gonna go with a little bit of a surprise one then. Bonta's I think Bonta might take it.
That's a great shout. He's the man on form right now. I think he's probably the best driver consistently in the league at the moment in terms of F3. As far as I can remember, anyway, I'm pretty sure he's had like 3/4 in a second in his last 4 races, which you can't argue that. That's fantastic. But I feel like return of the Ben.
Ben Kenobi. We'll go with that. How about that? You're my only hope. No, I can't do it. So, Taz, do you want to go off onto your little bit regarding our next plan?
Our next plan? I suppose I could, couldn't I?
Yeah.
Well,
see what they think.
Yeah. So we kind of thought we'll try something different and just see what happens with it. So you can tell us after next week if you're bored and fed up with it. But We're calling it the F1XL word game, isn't it? I think this is what we agreed upon.
Yeah.
Something simple. So both of us will have a list of 10 things relating to F1, if it's in terms of drivers, cars, names, corners, tracks. You know what I mean? Everything. And it's simple. You've just got to try and answer as many as you can in 60 seconds without us saying the actual words. So me and Gareth will be the ones giving out the clues to you guys. Both of us will be against each other. So I'll have 10, he'll have 10. And we'll be linking up with someone else in the league, see if we can try and beat each other. And what we're going to do this time is going to do it as a leaderboard. So if people do decide that they enjoy it and they want to come on it, then we will have it until close to the end of the season, and in the last one we'll have, say, the top 4 in a competition to see who can win the prize.
Yeah, always something a bit different. Though you say towards the end of the season, it's only 5 weeks away, 6 weeks away.
6. Yeah, exactly.
So the top 4,
Exactly.
it would be the first 4 will be the top 4.
Absolutely not, because if we're doing 2 a week.
Are we doing 2 a week? Oh, I thought we were only doing one.
Because we're both going to have lists, remember?
I thought we would. They were both, but we were going off the same person and pitting ourselves to see who would.
Oh no! We'll both have.
I see what you mean now.
Both have.
That's
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. We've got it. We got it sorted.
So it's not just a battle for now. It's also one for us. Technically. Because I have a funny feeling after 1 week you'll become ultra competitive because I know what you're like.
I'll either become ultra competitive or not interested at all.
Yeah, you're just like, fuck this, it's stupid. Who made this idea up?
Okay then, let's, I think, move on to F2.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I have him on my list or not. I know I do, but I can't find him.
I don't know if he uses the TES one or if that is his one now or what. And I just realised...
Meant to be Matt 45 though. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
there he
added Tez Matt. And I just realised how much of a game score he has over me. And I thought I had no life.
Go on. I want to hear this number.
I'm 250,000. Or just over 250,000.
Oh, Jesus.
And Matt is at 1 million. That is incredible. Yeah, wow. I need to aspire. I thought getting an achievement a day for, what was it, 1,111 days was impressive.
There was days where he was never able to do it, and he would message me being like, "Can you hop on my account and grab me this achievement?" Just every time you weren't available to do it, it's like, I need you to jump on the Xbox. Fine, what this time?
Fair play.
That went on for years.
Fair play.
3
years. Yeah, it was the day before Valentine's Day, the year I was with my missus. I first started seeing my missus. So, yeah, she was not pleased. So, Matt, sorry, let's welcome you properly to the show. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. You guys just enjoy my nice game of Scar. Fair enough.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I'm still Taz. You've got to do this.
I haven't really gone for achievements in like 3-4 years now, but when I was pretty hard into it. I think I was like top 30 in the world for gamer score at one point. So.
Yeah. Taz, this is for you. I need to look at this.
Well, I'll see how long for, because you know the situation.
Yes. Yeah. Go as far as you can, and I'll take over then.
Yeah. I mean, Matt, I think, am I right? Is it second time this season? Is that right?
Or an extra?
Yeah.
Maybe third? I want to say third.
It's this season? Oh, I don't think we'd have done that much, to be fair. I mean,
you guys
I know
just
for a
love
fact...
having me on. That's what
Yeah, absolutely. You know, why wouldn't we listen to you? It's always better than Madman, so...
I mean, what
he
can
always
Madman say from finishing last?
Well, that's it. He keeps asking me, when are you going to be on extra? And I'm like, well, when you score a point. So, anyway, I mean, since we last spoke, it's been a pretty decent little run for you, hasn't it?
Hasn't been too bad, I guess.
Are you surprised to have seen the gap jump up as quickly as it has?
I don't know if the gap's really jumped up. I think it's been more fluctuating between like 18 and 30 points for like the last, I don't know what, month and a half now. So it's been pretty consistent around that area. Like I'll have a good race, Aaron will beat me the next race. That's just how it seems to be going at the moment.
Yeah. Are you surprised that it's only the two of you in the fight, really? Like, I know BX is still mathematically in the battle, but
I
are
mean,
you
but
surprised that he's dropped off?
BX can hardly stay in a race for the whole time, so I'm not massively surprised that he's fallen off. He's I don't know, he's might need a new Xbox or something because his internet always seems to go. Him and Leclerc lag out of pretty much every race, so that's them at a disadvantage already. Pear's only been there for half a season. Like Sky's either ridiculously quick or in the wall, and then Phantom's thereabouts, but he's also quite inconsistent as well. So
I know, obviously, we started off the season with Phantom with a couple of wins, and then we had EX with like 3 wins in a row. Are you surprised that? I mean, like, obviously, you've
I'm
mentioned
sorry,
you've had
Sky,
issues in that.
podium or DNF? Sorry,
Podium or
That was the thing of last season where he literally podium or DNF.
Oh,
I
yes.
think he's had a couple of P4 or P5s this season, so not quite podium or DNF.
No. Yeah, are you a bit surprised at the fact, though, that there's, like, there isn't as many in the fight? I know, obviously, you've said people have had issues, but with people who have had some good runs this season, are you surprised there aren't more up there?
I mean, I think if BX hadn't had his issues, he'd be right up there. But I think me and Aaron have definitely been the most consistent scorers of the season so far, at least. So.
Okay. Well, I suppose we better talk about Mexico. Go on, you're qualifying first. Talk us through it.
Well, I invalidated just about every lap I did, so that was really fun. I enjoyed that. I think I qualified P5, maybe P6. It wasn't particularly good. I could have got pole if I didn't invalidate every lap, but I think probably anyone could.
I think,
wasn't great.
Mexico is one of those tracks, isn't it, where it's like you need to just try and...
We knew it was going to be a wet race, so I was really deciding on setup. I didn't know if 4 or 2 would be better, but I think most of us decided for 4.
Yeah, I seen somewhere, I think it was Roland was one of the only ones that went 2, and he was nowhere to be seen, apparently.
I think 2 was amazing through the S's, but the long straights, you just can't do it. You can't defend at all. On 4 felt pretty good, if I'm honest, in the rain.
Bit of a surprise considering in the rain you'd expect it to be that little bit slower, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was. I think maybe 2 was quicker overall, but I think it's just the long straights. If it wasn't for the long straights, that's what really gave it to 4.
Obviously, yeah. So you started P5. Was it wet for the whole race, or was it just
yeah, fully inters for that entire time, which wasn't my idea of enjoyment, but it was okay.
In terms of the race itself, I noticed there's quite a few pit stops. So you surprised that you had to pit twice in wet weather conditions? Because normally it's,
yeah, the tires are just degrading so quickly. Like people did the 1 stop, but you'd pretty much easily catch them up doing the 2 stop. That's how much the tires degraded. I was thinking about just doing a 1 stop, but you don't know. I feel like there's a big puncture risk there, and maybe it was a risk that wasn't worth taking.
And obviously you ended up P3 in the end, just behind Rohard by 4 seconds. Did you have to do much in terms of the race, overtaking or anything?
It was me, Rohard, and Phantom who were really fighting it out for P2, 3, 4 for quite a while. Pear had just shot off in the distance. Pear had crazy pace in the rain. I don't think anyone was really catching up with him there, but I think everyone behind him was pretty evenly matched.
Yeah.
We were behind Phantom for a bit, and we pitted, and we came out in traffic of the people who were only doing the one stop, so we were sat behind them for a bit, and then Roll Hard managed to get past Phantom, and then I got past him with a move around the outside into the first corner, which wasn't too bad because overtaking on wet conditions is pretty much impossible unless you're really committed to it and doing it. And I was like, I'm just going for this around the outside, and luckily it paid off. And then we were behind Sky and Jam for a little bit, but Sky was set up too, and I think that hurt him down the straights. But he still got P4 though, which is pretty good.
Yeah, definitely, especially the one stop as well. Okay, so Mexico's out of the way. I mean, America next. We're sort of staying in the sort of North American continent for the next 3 races, I think it is, or 2 races after this one. Are you looking forward to America, or is this another one where you're just sort of like, "Ah, do we really have to do it?"
I mean, it's okay. I wouldn't say I hate it. I wouldn't say I like it. It's a track. It exists.
It's there.
Pretty much. So.
And how do you think your pace is going to be this weekend?
I think I should be there or thereabouts at the top. Me, Aaron, BX, probably pair again. Phantom.
Are you enjoying the fact that you've got more people sort of up the top now, in terms of there always was that sort of 3 or 4 people who were usually up there or thereabouts, but now we've obviously had Pierre come in and he's done pretty well. Pepsi, when he's racing, he's been up there as well, fighting with you guys. Are you enjoying that little bit of extra competitiveness?
I mean, it's always nice to see like more people up at the front. But I think Pear's been up there ever since he's come in, really, and BX, Phantom, Sky on his day. So there's definitely a lot of competition up there. Apart from in Mexico where Pear just went off in like 20 seconds, but
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest winning margin of the season so
Wow.
far. So it's always been within like five seconds to the car behind. I think I've been within the win like within 5 seconds like 6 or 7 times this season. So
Yeah. And I think, you know what, I'm going to ask you one more question. We've got 5 races left. America, Canada, Holland, Austria, Britain. You think you can win the title?
I hope so. I mean, Canada, I'd say, is my only weak track in those tracks. So as long as I can get through Canada, still ahead of Roll Hard, I think I can probably win. But if I have a bag Canada, that'll really open up the.
Well, that's the thing as well, because I think you need a good Canada. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but did Roll Hard not win Canada last season?
Yeah, he's quick at Canada, and I'm not particularly quick at
because
Canada,
everyone
but-
was like talking about all the title contenders, then suddenly Roll Hard just turned up and won the race.
But then after that, I like Zandvoort and Silverstone and Austria. So those are 3 good tracks for me. So
So it's going to be a hopeful title for you this season then, yeah?
I mean, our Roll Hard can obviously still do it. I think we're pretty evenly matched for pace. I think it's going to come down to luck and pretty much because we're always one position next to each other. Pretty much for the last like few races, we've just been like nose to tail, either him behind me or me behind him. So
So Roland's asked us to stop calling it Holland, so yeah, I'll be honest, I quite like the Holland track. It's a nice
Dutchland.
one, so yeah. Okay, so last question from me, who's going to win this weekend?
I'm going to Pear again. Pear seems to like the. He seems to be really quick at Mexico, and USA seems to be pretty much Mexico with a few more turns. So that's what I'm going to guess.
Okay. Gareth?
No, I'm gonna back Phantom.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna back your title rival in this one, Matt. I think Rollard will win this weekend. I think he'll probably be second or third. I can't see. I think both of you will be on the podium once again
Sky
this
said
weekend.
Phantom DNF. Sky has high hopes for Phantom then.
Last corner spin. That's my prediction for that if he's saying DNF.
It's quite a penalty track as well, and Phantom does enjoy getting his penalties. No offense to Phantom, so.
He ain't got nothing on troll though, does he?
Trolled.
Trolled. Right, Gareth, have you got any questions for our F2 title challenger?
Not really. I think you covered most of it. I think the only thing is how are you feeling within your team? Obviously, the overall constructor's going on at the same time.
Yeah, team's going good. We got a nice little lead now, which hopefully we can consolidate to the end of the season. It's a shame he won't be racing this weekend, but I think we have a strong enough team to cope with his absence.
And what do you think, as yourself, is the minimum? I know it's a bit weird. I think McLaren are sitting on about 998 or 993 points at the moment. But how many points do you think you can rack up before the end of the season?
I mean, what have you got to think? We've been averaging around 60, 70 a race. So have that another 5 times, you're probably looking at 1,300, something like that maybe. I don't think that's an unrealistic goal.
Nice little quick maths there. Thank you very much, Matt. Thank you very much for coming onto the show. Much appreciated. Have you got any final words for the guys out there?
No, not really. Just hope we have a good USA and hope Chaos gets better soon.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for popping onto the show. Good luck for Sunday. Oh, pardon me. Good luck for Sunday.
Cheers.
And take care
Thanks
of yourself.
for having me on. Yeah, you guys too. See you later.
Right then, let's move on to the next part of the show, I guess. And Taz, I think
you quickly need to plug, and then I'll get our F1 guy in.
Okay, fine. I was going to say, should I do something like that? But it's fine. We're going there anyway. We have got, obviously, SFR on Saturday. It's an 8 o'clock rundown. Light Shock is hosting the commentary side of things this week, so that'll be... Oh, well, he does it every week, to be honest. So, yeah, go and check that one out. It should be being hosted by this channel anyway. That is 8 o'clock on Saturday. And then on Sunday, it is a 9 o'clock kickoff for the American Grand Prix. Myself and Ollie will be running through the F1 action as it happens. There should be F2 action from Traction Online Racing. No, Flat Out Network Racing, I think it is, on the F2 side of things. And then Swayze will be popping through the F4 side of things on his own Twitch channel, which I believe is TES_Swayze.
Yes, it is.
Fair enough. Now, let's move on to the F1 side of things. And Taz, if I can just ask you to start off, I will be back in a second.
Okay. How do I introduce this in the nicest possible way? Fingers is bitch. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yes.
Sloppy Cup. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, yeah. How are you?
Yeah, not bad at all. Welcome to Extra. I'm not used to the bit doing the start of it, but hey, here we go. F1. Now, I mean, if there's ever an anomaly in leagues, F1 has got to be the anomaly right now, because the level of sort of inconsistency outside of number 1 and 2 is a bit insane right now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the F1 league right now is just crazy. We've got so many fast-paced drivers coming up everywhere. I think we're going into races now not knowing who's going to be on the podium. It used to be where we'd all be like, yeah, we know the podium, but now it's a bit, who is going to be on the podium? We know there's going to be quick people, but anyone could win. Especially like we had at Mexico, where there's rain and then dry. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, and you know, it makes for some good watch as well, obviously. Gareth will be sitting there bumping his gums for the whole race, probably calling people by the wrong names, as I heard that he was doing. I'm not going to mention that, though. I said to him I wouldn't mention the fact that he kept calling people wrong, but... I'm looking at the sort of the last few weeks. I think you're probably the one person who has had 3 consistent results on a binary as well. Sorry, but you know, P3, 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 45 points in 3 weeks, right back up in the ASR spots right now. Are you happy with this little revival that you've had?
Yeah, I am actually. I mean, coming into my first season in F1, I'd never expect to be in the top 10 really. I know I had a few high hopes at the start, but realistically against everyone, I don't really think I had a chance. And for me to be getting these podiums now, yeah, I'm quite happy and to be in for a chance of an ASR spot.
So
Yeah.
my cat is very much my cat, and I'm ignoring her, so she's like, give me attention.
But yeah, I mean, I'm I'm happy with where I am in the championship, and I just hope that I can keep up the pace that I've got, keep working hard, and hopefully I will get one of those top 5 spots.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, momentum in this league is always key, and I say that, and I think, you know, F4's proven that with Davey picking up 75 points in 3 races, and I think you with 45 and 3 is massive, you know. You've managed to overtake, for me, who was, you know, favourite for top 5 at the time, Meady, and also Straka, who's sort of been there or thereabouts the whole season. So it's a big comeback from you. Anyway, may as well talk about Mexico. So, qualifying for you first, was it a good qualifying? Was it a pretty shoddy qualifying?
Yeah, really wasn't good. Straight off the bat, I knew that I picked the wrong setup. I went preset 2, which, although in the rain might sound like it's good, it's really not. There's no pace at all on the straight. I think you're only up on preset 4 in like 3 or 4 corners on the whole lot, which it was a stupid decision from me. So straight away, I was on the back foot, qualifying in the bottom half of the top 10. So that kind of messed with me a little bit going into the race because I knew that I was quick in the wet, and that's where I had a lot of confidence compared to some of the other drivers. But I just knew I had to make it up off the line in the opening laps.
Yeah, obviously set up 2 and you end up in 9th place, or 8/10 off a binary's pole lap. So obviously places to be made up. You said it started off wet and then went to dry at the end, yeah? Is that right? Or is it the other way around?
Yeah, it started off full chucking it down, heavy rain, and then within 2 or 3 laps went to inters, and then midway through the race, just before midway, bone dry. So, yeah, it was a bit of a crazy race actually, having to switch tyres. Yeah, I think definitely some safety cars in the race helped out with that.
Mm-hmm. And do you enjoy those kind of races where it's you're constantly having to strategize and really use your mind, or do you sort of prefer a more straightforward race where you can just sort of go, I've got a strategy, I'm going in, this is what I'm going to do?
Oh, of course I prefer the races where there's a lot of action. Like, I just find them so fun, especially when there's rain. No, whenever there's rain in a race, that's like my ideal race. I might not be fast, but I just love driving in the rain. I don't know what it is, it's just so fun. So I definitely like that race. Even though it was a little bit challenging to get the strategy right, it was super fun, just all the action in that.
Yeah, okay. So talk about the start first of all. You know, P9, full wet. How the hell did you manage to make your way up the field?
Yeah, I don't know if Stream calls it, but straight away off the line I think I made up 3 positions just from getting the traction down a bit better, and then I had to hold off a few people on the run into turn 1. But from then I was just staying. I went up to P5 for a bit and then dropped down to P6. I started to lose pace on the west, just at the crossover point. And then during the inter, when we paired for the inters, I lowered my front wing by 2, just to give me just a little bit more straight line speed. It wasn't much, but just to try and help me out as much as possible. So from then on, it was just damage limitation. At that point, I thought, look, I'm going to be at the bottom of the points, but if I can just score points, I'll take that as a win from what I've made of the race, what I've put myself in.
Okay. Obviously, you mentioned the fact that you had low expectations of what was going to happen. Was there a safety car or anything quite late on, or was it a case of that penalties managed to get you up to the positions? How did you end up managing to keep P3?
Bit of both. We had 2 safety cars right after each other with about 10 laps to go, and I knew, okay, this is where it's going to be a big sprint to the finish, and I saw that a few people around me had got penalties, so I just knew if I could just keep in the top 3 or at least top 5 and just keep up my pace, that'd be good. But yeah, on the safety car restart, I had a shocking one, mostly because of my straight line speed and just using up all my ERS to try and stay ahead. So I dropped down to P5, but luckily a few people ahead got penalties, and I could just stick with them as they were battling it. That's what got me on the podium.
Mm-hmm. Good. Gareth, I'm going to let you to take over because you're the F1 commentator. It would be cruel for me not to let you talk about Mexico with him first.
That's fine. I mean, I missed qualifying because of issues anyway, so yeah, what a surprise on my side. But anyway, so obviously we had the maximum amount of virtual safety cars and safety cars we could get in a race. I think it was 6. I think you get 3 of each in a 50%er. Now, obviously, with all that going on, did you ever think that you could sneak even more of it out of this? Because obviously with the wet weather and everything that was going on, no one really knew positions. At one point, I think both Light Shock and Binary were outside of the top 10. And, I mean, Swain was doing well. He's kind of in the middle pack at the moment. And, I mean, did you ever think that it could be a chance for you to take a victory?
Not victory, but I knew I could have got higher, definitely, because on that second full safety car restart, I kind of played the smart game, not expecting there to be another safety car, so I stuck with Mark, Light Shock, and we were just slipstreaming each other. We pulled about 2-second gap nearly, and we were just in a comfortable position where the people behind couldn't catch up, and I was just saving fuel in the RS behind Mark. So I thought if there was no safety car, I'd have definitely maybe had a chance, but he was rapid. Mark was rapid around Mexico, so probably wouldn't have. But I knew that I would at least have got higher up the grid, maybe just from being in second and pulling away from the back. But I mean, with what I got, I'm still happy. Definitely knew I could have got more. But with the things that happened to me in the racing quali, yeah, you can't really want much more than what I got.
I think you were involved with quite a lot going in through the race, and I think later on you and Prophet Meady, I think it was Prophet Meady stayed on mediums, wasn't it, for
Yeah.
the end. But even before that, you were involved with a lot of overtaking and having to defend or trying to overtake in areas where you really couldn't because of the strategy you chose. But obviously, knowing what you know now, that you finished podium, would you have changed to set up for obviously with uncertainty of not knowing whether you were going to finish or not, or would you be happy to take what you've taken from Sunday?
I would have changed to set up for. Straight away, even in qualifying, you could see that halfway through the race, it was going to go to dry. And yeah, I'd, as I said on the podium, I'd not done any wet running, so I didn't know what setup to do. So I just kind of took my team's ideas, so I was kind of hoping that it would work. And it did, I guess. But just, yeah, the straight line speed killed me. But definitely, if I could do that race again, I would definitely go on set up 4, because I don't care. Just the straight line advantage that everyone had, it's just so overpowered compared to setup 2.
Fair enough. Now, America next. Is it a track you like?
It is a track I like. Whether I like it on presets or not is a whole nother question. I've not done any laps yet, so I'm just gonna kind of go into it with a fresh mind Saturday, Sunday when I'm doing practice. I know that I can get some results, and that I can have pace at Mexico if I if I'm in my right mind and right setup and everything. But yeah, I'm not too hopeful. I'm not aiming for a podium again. I'm just aiming, like I say, every weekend basically, just to keep getting some points. Because as long as I'm scoring points, that's all that matters. Even if it's a bad weekend, just make sure I'm in the top 10 just to limit the damage.
And your aim is still to get into the ASR spots. Obviously, a lot as you were classed as the fastest driver through time trials, but you've still got you've said yourself, two of your favourite tracks still to come, and we know how rapid you can be around Canada from last season's F2 race, and obviously you don't really want to be reminded about that. Pinger says, wrap it up, he's lagging. So you don't have too much time to answer this. However, I can't even remember what I was going to say. Are you kind of here for redemption? Obviously, I mean, Canada's in a couple of weeks. But is it like you want to just keep on proving yourself through it all and maybe take it to the big boys?
Yeah, definitely. I've used this season as a season where I'm learning, because even though F2 you can be sometimes at the same pace as F1, it's a whole different way of racing, the strategies, the setups and everything. So I've just kind of used this season as a bit of a learning, a bit of a, not taster season, but just to see what it's all about. And I think you can see that in my results. At the start, yeah, I was getting points, but I wasn't really close to the top. And it's just the second half of the season, I felt like I started to find my rhythm. I started to know what the races are going to be like, the setups and everything. And it's still just kind of building up, waiting for next year. And then, yeah, at Canada, definitely wanting redemption. Probably not going to win. I'm not as quick as Binary, Swain, Light Shark and that. But I'm hoping for another good race. Hopefully I don't crash out because of someone spinning across the track. But yeah. I am looking forward to it. I want a bit of redemption.
Fair enough. Right. Winner, your prediction for America in F1?
Ooh. Oh, I really don't know. Gonna say Binary.
Mr. Tazo,
Yeah.
are you there?
Binary.
Sorry, if you give your reasoning why for Binary, and I'll...
Yeah. The only reason I say this is because just from a couple of weeks ago, I know this was on setups, but in XFR, Binary beat Mark. I don't know, Mark's still gonna have solid pace, but I just think maybe Binary will take that mentality in that he knows he can beat Mark at this track, and maybe it'll give him the extra edge. But like it is in every week in F1, you never know. When for the past couple of weeks, or for 2 weeks ago at Australia, we didn't know until the last final corner or whatever until who's going to be the winner, and that's how close we want F1 to be. We want it to be like that. So I hope we don't know who the winner is, but if I had to predict, probably Binary.
Fair enough. Mr. Tazo, are you there yet?
Yes, I'm trying to sort my Chinese.
I was just a prediction for F1. Chinese can come later.
The Chinese has already been. Wait, what? No. I am going to back right, Mr. No Luck to return to the top step.
Me?
No, Swain.
Oh, okay.
Well, I expected you to know that one.
You know how much luck I have.
True.
Right then, okay. I'm gonna go with the other one out of it all. I'm gonna go Light Shock, just because the tracks are similar. I know Binary had the measure over Light Shock at XFR, but I think just at XL, I think maybe Light Shock has the measure on him. Sloppy, thank you very much for coming onto the show. Have you got any final words for the guys out there?
No. I mean, yes. Hopefully it's going to be a good race again in F1 and all leagues again for the viewers. Nothing else really to say.
Fantastic. Well, Sloppy, much appreciated coming on to the show. It's always a pleasure having you on board, and good luck for Sunday, and we'll speak to you soon, no doubt. I was expecting another goodbye, but never mind.
Oh, fine. Yes. Thank you for having me here again. It's been a pleasure being on the show. Thank you for interviewing me and asking me all these brilliant questions. Yes.
Good. Now get back into Pingers' basement.
Okay.
Wow, I can't believe you say that. Oh my god, I've just had a message from Xbox Live. Well, just as I said that.
It's
Oh,
okay.
God.
It's okay. It's only Destiny related. Don't panic. It's not the
I'm not going to get
the listing, please.
yeah. No, they really should go to Pingers' house for that. But anyway, it's been one of those crazy shows. Mr. Tazzo, have you got anything to say final to not to close the show, but any final words from you?
Yes. Good luck this weekend, and I promise you next week's extra is going to be even more crazy.
Yeah. Hopefully we will be able to understand. But moving on and to agree, let's just move on and end the show. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you everyone who has followed us in the stream. Sorry I haven't been able to call you out through it all. Obviously weird things happening throughout the stream. Beastie, thank you very much for your bits through the stream as well. Much appreciated. I did notice those. And congratulations on Davey for winning the 5 Faces of Hell. Now that one's finally gone. We are going to be back on the F1XL channel on Sunday for the American Grand Prix. And then we'll be back here for the extra show on Wednesday next week. I hopefully will be COVID free. I hopefully have my results back by then, and then I won't have to postpone another show because of it. But we'll wait and see, and we will hopefully see you on the next one.